Well, folks, you guys remember a few weeks back, we covered the story of the bishop who said that he had all of that stuff stolen. Let me get this mic down here. Okay. You guys remember we talked about that bishop who said that all of his stuff got stolen in church. Remember, they showed the people walking in covertly. It's like they all had on the mask and the black outfit, and then they all got in cars that were pretty fancy schmancy, and all that stuff. You guys remember that, right? All right. So after we covered that story, while we were covering that story, I made a few comments about what I thought, and I thought that it could be a ploy, could be an issue, could be a lot of stuff, right? Well, now Home Skillet has come out and done a little bit more. Hey, Zeb. Uh, so listen, this cat has a little bit more going on at his church. Now, here's what I think may happen pretty soon. If, and I say if because it is allegedly, it's not a serious, it's not anything that's actually been levied that's actual, right? But if it comes out in the future that there was something tainted about all of that stuff that was stolen, he said it was his bishop ring, his bishop's cross, it was his wedding ring, it was his Rolex, Folex, or whatever you call the Lex he was wearing. All of his wares were taken, right? But let's just imagine, let's take him out of the scenario so that we can, in good faith, have fun with what I'm about to construct. What if it were the same type of story, but it entailed Bob the Builder? And while Bob the Builder was building and doing what he does, Bob the Builder was assaulted, and somebody came into Bob the Builder's construction site and snatched all of his wares. They took his wrench, they took his screwdrivers, they took it all. And then later on, you find out that it was Bob himself who had actually fashioned this unbelievable plot, and that Bob was now a part of. Dun, dun, dun! An insurance scam. How's that? An insurance scam. Because that's what I think is going on. Now, let's go head on and pull in the stories, because we're going to go back and look at the victim that was, and now we're going to look at the assailant that is. And then he had the audacity, instead of letting cool heads prevail, after going through all of that went on the other day inside of his churcharium, he done had that woman arrested and had her trespassed. Let's get into the story, shall we? Okay, let's just look at it. Let's see. This one. We're going to go here. No, don't want to do that one. Want to do that one. Yeah. All right. So we're going to go here first. And I'm going to make sure that you guys have the screen. All righty. And there's still humans staying here for now, so you're going to hear lots of noise. All right. Oh, yeah, Drea. We getting down deep with it. Yes. So now it says, extravagant Brooklyn pastor arrested mid-sermon after the altercation with two women during a church live stream. Lamar Whitehead, 44, was cuffed. He was cuffed mid-sermon. He was bound. Somebody said, "I bind you," and they bound him. He was cuffed mid-sermon and released 2 hours after the incident unfolded at his Brooklyn church. There's a lot of heat going on over there at their church. A New York bishop who was robbed at gunpoint mid-sermon this past summer was arrested for a separate incident post-sermon after he grabbed a woman he believed was a threat to his seated nearby family. Quote, "They locked me up in front of my children, in front of my wife, in front of my church," Lamar, 44, told the New York Daily News. I need to run this dude's background because this cat know a little bit too much street hustle. But then again, that's most church preachers. Most of them preachers in the church got whole lot of hustle going on. All right, let's get into the rest of it. It said that this is what he said to the New York Daily News in an interview after he'd been released from a holding cell 2 hours after the altercation took place on Sunday. Quote, "They publicly embarrassed me And then they drop all the charges after 2 hours and apologize to me. While delivering a sermon at the Leaders of Tomorrow International Mission, well, Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministry in Carnes on Sunday, Mr. Whitehead, not bishop, not pastor, not Reverend Doctor, Mr. Whitehead told the outlet that he saw two women enter the church and slide into the back rows of the building. Slinkingly, they slid. The bishop says that his awareness was piqued because the woman's demeanor seemed to call back the same behavior that he'd witnessed in the past. This past July, from a group of men who robbed him at gunpoint while he was yet preaching. He noted that the pair had entered the same way it happened when my church got robbed. No, you got robbed. And it appears that everything that happens to you, well, you must live at that church, dude, because they can't ever catch you no place else but church. And I know as flamboyant as you live, you be pushing that vehicle in all kinds of neighborhoods and areas. So they got to see you more than just at church, but let's keep going. Social media footage of the incident shows the bishop calling the two women up onto the pulpit, asking if they want to come preach before quipping that he's going to make you famous. He's gonna make you famous. Off camera, one of the women can be heard screaming before the bishop can be heard shouting for someone to move her out of here, the Daily News reported. One of the women then reportedly ran down the middle of the aisle, at which point he claims to have thought only of his wife and child seated close by. Maybe it was, let's just imagine again, we're going to use Bob the Builder as an example because we already know the good bishop, the good Dr. Bishop is a good dude. So we're not talking about him, right? We're talking back with the Bob the Builder scenario that we've already created. This is a fake scenario. It is not talking about the bishop. Please don't run and say nothing to the bishop and tell him that I'm talking about him because I'm talking about Bob the Builder. But what if Bob the Builder's paramour popped up at his construction site and decided she wanted to let the wife know, hey, I see you're up here bringing him his lunch. But I want to let you know who I am, sister girl. I know that Bob the Builder brings his check home to you every Friday, and I need to let you know that we got our baby, me and Bob the Builder. And right now, I'm letting you know you're going to be splitting all that Bob the Builder brings home with me and my baby. Just saying. Could be. Never know. Bob the Builder's scenario. Of course, nothing like this one. But as we continue, it says he thought that he could only think of his wife and child who were seated close by him. Quote, she came back storming toward my wife and my 10-month-old baby. She went toward my wife, and that's when I grabbed her. I grabbed her and took her out of my church. That ain't how it happened. But okay, if you want to tell that narrative enough, people who are watching will then go say, yeah, I guess you can't see her in the screen, so I guess that's where, she was going. The incident dredged up all too familiar fears from a robbery that was carried out at the bishop's church this past summer. When the women came charging at him, all he could do was remember. That's all he could do was remember. He remembered the guys with the guns who put their gun in his baby's face. In that July incident, Mr. Whitehead could be heard in a live Instagram live saying, he's all right, as he was putting his hands up and then getting down on the ground as a masked assailant appeared on screen in the footage obtained by ABC7. The robbers demanded jewelry from Mr. Whitehead and his 38-year-old wife. They ultimately got away with a bundle valued at $400,000. And I'm sure the insurance policy that he had on all of that took good care of it, made all of that liquid for him. After Sunday's altercation, the two women detectives from the 69th precinct arrived at the Brooklyn church. The two women with the detectives went back to the church and arrested the bishop, informing him that he was charged with assault. He'll probably consider moving to Illinois after this incident. Nonetheless, it goes on to say, Mr. Whitehead says, there were a lot of little kids in the church that are frightened now. Again, all the little babies in my church saw me get arrested. The ones that look up to me with my fancy, too tight around the ankle pants suits. After being held for approximately 2 hours, Mr. Whitehead was then released without any charges being pressed against him. He says, quote, "They dropped all the charges and let me out," he said, speculating that his release had come from the higher-ups in the NYPD discovering that he was being held. A spokesperson for the NYPD said in an email statement to the Independent that both Mr. Whitehead and the 47-year-old woman were removed from the church on Sunday after receiving 911 calls for a disturbance at the place of worship. Without addressing Mr. Whitehead's arrest and later release, the spokesperson confirmed that one of the women, the unidentified 47-year-old, had been arrested and charged with trespassing and disturbing a religious service. Mr. Whitehead has previously drawn criticism for his lavish jewel collection that he and his wife are known to display, but he has pushed back against the accusation that he is in any way scamming his parishioners. Quote, "It's not about me being flashy. It's about me purchasing what I want to purchase. Y'all not going to tear me down by your childish thoughts. And I'm going to stay focused." That's what he said. Y'all ain't going to do this to me because I'm a man of the cloth. And being that I'm a man of the cloth, I get to do what I want to do and say what I want to say and act like I want to act. And y'all going to like it. And that's all there is to it. I don't want to hear no more about it. No more about it. That's what he says. So the way that I see it is, this guy's up to something. And you know the funniest thing about this type of stuff, because I'm gonna glance at the video if I can see the video. I think I have a tweet of the video. The part that I think that bothers me the most is that there are a lot of people who follow these kind of characters. They follow these characters. Here, I'm going to let you guys see it, but there's a lot of ads around it. There's an affordable, convenient pet care ad. And then there's another one about Zell's renovations. If you want to frequent any of those places, I guess you could. But here, let me go on ahead and give this to you guys. Let me go. Let me give it to you. Let me give it to you. All right, so let's see what we got. Let me let you see this because this is amazing to me. I mean, he's going to get caught up. Somebody like Bob the Builder is going to get caught. This guy's litigious, so therefore I ain't the one. Okay, I ain't got like Tasha K money or nothing like that, so don't be trying to come sue me. This is the one that I want. I want this one. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys this one. All riddled and peppered with all kinds of stuff. No. Okay. All right, so let's see. The humans are still here. The same humans that were disrespectful earlier, they're still here. Except the little guy. He don't mean no harm. Well, I guess you could tell who's grandmom's favorite. Don't tell nobody. Out of all 15 of them, he's actually the favorite because he's a hoot. All right. There he is right there. Let me make it a little larger. Can we? Should we? Certainly. All right, close that if I can. I don't even know what Nora Cora is and why they're bombarding me with their ads. Okay, so let's see. Can you guys see this? Okay, this is the cat. This is back then. This is when he was being arrested. This is when he was being robbed. You guys can see this here. Now, does that not look like he is being, you can turn it off. He looked like an actor. Look at the cat sitting back here. Yeah, he told us this was going to happen. I just didn't know it was going to happen today. That's how his face looks. Yeah, he told us it was coming, but he just didn't tell us that it was going to happen today. Hey, Marty. You see that? Did you guys see how the guys walked in? And he's like, oh, let me just sort of cringingly move over. He sort of cringingly moved. You guys were going to hear about the story. I don't know none of these people. None of them. But I know that cat over there in the back is supposed to be his armor bearer, showing up sitting. Mm-hmm. He was just sitting, show enough. Sitting, show enough. There we go. You know what? I really, 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 let me say this. Let me take him off the screen so can't nobody say I was saying anything. Because like I said, they coming after creators now. So let me just say this. It is amazing to me. Let me take this dude off. Let me go here. It's amazing to me how so many of these people look like they're crooked. And I'm not saying he's crooked. I'm just saying he got a little crooked look to him, right? And anytime I see cats that look like that, I just my bells just get the ding 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 ding, and I just be like, "Ooh, well, okay, something is up. Don't know what it is, but I'm sure we're gonna figure it out." Wasn't that a character on Fraggle Rock? It's like a slapstick comedy, Drea said. Oh my goodness. Joy Trujillo says Bob the Builder was busy back hoeing a ditch to collect water liquidity. Hmm. Hmm. So let's just take a gander. I want to see the tweet. Is this the tweet? Where is the tweet? I want to see the tweet. That's what I had a tweet pulled up. Tweet. I had a tweet. Where is it? Where is the tweet? I guess I could use the video from TMZ. Let me see it myself. Hold on. Oh, wow. Oh, we got to see this. Let me show y'all this. Let me show you this. And there's a reason why I need to show y'all this. Wow. Wow. Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm getting confused because I'm on the MSN. What is the side? The micro. I'm on the Microsoft side, and I'm not used to it that much. But let me show you guys this. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Wow. Let me give it to you guys. Hold on. Hold on. I'm sure it'll be worth it. We're going to break this down. TMZ. Where's the TMZ tab? Is this it? Hold on, y'all. Don't go nowhere because I want to show you something. Because see, we are being led to believe something else, and it ain't what's up. What we've been led to believe is not, and it just confirms what we were thinking. Okay, here it is. I see the tab. It's the Bing tab. Bing, Bing, Bing. Okay, there we go. All right, you guys. Let me make it a little bigger if I can. Okay, there we are. Now look, you guys. Watch. What is the first thing that stands out? The very first thing that stands out. Somebody get it. Somebody. Nobody gets it yet? Y'all got to get this. Now look at it. Now look. Now watch. That's his wife and family over there. She's clapping. She's raising her hands. The wife is. This woman is still doing her things. Oh, your screen is too small? Let me see. Can I make it a little bit bigger? Because this is a mess. This is a hot rump mess. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Let's do it again. Let's go back. Okay, the first thing I want everybody to notice is this. This entire edifice is as empty can be. Okay? It's as empty as a mom and pop store during March 2020. It is as empty as a mom and pop coffee shop the month of March 2020. As a matter of fact, April 1st, 2020. It's that empty. It's as empty as an elementary school, 2020. Empty. So now, let's break this down. It's empty, 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 empty. There goes one of anybody that's near the church, near him is supposed to be an armor bearer. Now remember, I'm a PK. All right. I'm a preacher's kid. All right. So yeah. So I pretty much have the idea of how it goes in these kinds of settings. But the first thing I want to remind you guys is this church has one full row, two full rows that are empty in the back. One row from there is occupied by one person, which leaves 4 more chairs. All right. So you got 5, 10, 14 on the right in here. Okay, then all of these appear to be empty. Well, because you would figure if anybody was sitting on the side, somebody would have that front right seat or these edge seats. Who wants to sit all the way inside? When all you got to do when they're about to go to collect the offering is get up right here and run out. You don't want to be involved with all of that. So let's go on ahead. Let's first of all, I want you guys to look at how familiar she's walking in. It has no sound in it anyway. So this is going to be wonderful. Let's go. She's walking. She's walking. She's walking. Now she's standing there. But she claims that she was speaking in her quote unquote heavenly language. That part I did glean from another podcaster's publication. I glanced and I saw while looking for this footage, his footage came up and she was there giving her comments. And what she was saying is, while I was speaking in my heavenly language, he first ushered me to come up. And as I came up, she says that she began to speak in her heavenly language and that upon approaching the front, he ushered her to come closer. This is what she is saying. But here's the thing. That church is awful empty for him to be able to have all of the things that he says that he has. Now, in other words, if he is receiving a paycheck from his church, who's giving? Who's giving that would be able for his paycheck to support that? Now, he just may have another outside job. He really may. He may have an outside job. But if he does not have an outside job, how is this congregation able to support such a lavish lifestyle? These are just questions that I look at. And I also wonder, why is it that nobody is working his altar? If you are supposed to be a quote unquote bishop, there's supposed to be people working your altar where she would have never been able to get up there. Okay, absolutely it does, Joy. You know, my favorite washing powder, when I use the powder type, it's one from Mexico. It's called Ariel, because it tear your clothes up, but it makes them smell real good. Follow me, please. Follow me, please. Follow me, please. Understand what I just said. Okay, you got it. All right. You see? All right. So that's the first thing, is how empty it is. Where's all the money coming from? And maybe he's already under scrutiny, because if I can see this, obviously some detective can. Now she's standing right there. She is subdued. Now let's keep our eye waiting for the wife. Now the wife is over here. But now the wife is, okay, we're watching. Okay, the lady is standing there. One woman stands up, and I guess that's the wife. No, the wife is in the red chair. That's the wife in the red chair. And she is raising her hands, and she is clapping. All right, so let me give you my church idea. I'm going to get you from here. I'm going to get you right here. Okay? Right there. They're clapping. He's making his comment, but they're clapping. So when I see that, knowing how regular church works, she does appear that when I very first saw this, I thought she was speaking in the spirit. I thought she was making because of course we got to look at the context of the type of church this is. What the type of church this is, I thought that she was walking up declaring something and that there were people there that possibly understood. Based on what I just said, it looked as if the wife did understand what she said, because there are some people in those settings who can speak in tongues. There are other people in this setting who can interpret tongues. The wife, and when I first heard this woman, I'm going to tell you, it didn't sound like she was trying to threaten nobody. And I'm coming from a spiritual aspect, being very serious right now. Okay. Something is awry. Something is awry. There's many different ways that we could look at this, and I'm going to break it down, and whoever like it, who don't. It's all good. I still love you. Hopefully you still love me. Please get the likes up. Hit the like button. Okay. Charlie, is Charlie Sigler here? Charlie Sigler. Did I see Charlie Sigler? No, but if you are going to watch in the replay, I'll address it in a few minutes. Anyway, so here's what I think. Sitting looking at this for the very first time that I saw it, when the woman came into the screen, the very first thing I saw was her speaking in the spirit. That's how I saw it. And it hit me someplace. I didn't have a chance to actually break what she was saying down because I didn't have my spiritual helmet on. I wasn't in that mode. I was simply watching it, but I do know she was saying something. And as I'm looking at this video now and I'm seeing the wife raise her hands, something resonated with her as well. In tandem with that, this cat is into something he ain't supposed to be involved in. That's what I'm going to say. He's involved in something he ain't supposed to be involved in. Welcome, welcome, sister. Raw be privileged. Love you, baby. Thank you. Thank you. And welcome. Okay. See, Joy, that's why I didn't want to go there, but it's okay. That's why I said what I said, because some people do not believe in it and some people do. This congregation does believe in it. And there are some people who can do some things. This chick knows something. This man knows that anybody who comes in there, he is going to be very, very leery of them because there's something that's going on that should not be. There's something going on that should not be. And hey, I'm nobody. I'm just a little grandmother that live out here in the hood. That's it. That's all. I'm nobody special. Okay, I'm not Juanita Bynum. I'm not any of these people who can, you go out and get you. I ain't nobody. So he ain't got to come after me. He ain't got to send no goons. He ain't got to do none of that. I'm just saying, let Yah be the truth and every human being, man, be a liar. That's all I'm saying. If there's some truth here, there's some truth. If that ain't, it ain't going to wash out. It ain't going to come out in a few months. There's something going on. It ain't. It ain't. But I tell you, warning comes before every single storm. I'm going to tell you that again. Warning comes before every single storm. Every single storm. Warning comes. All right, let's go ahead and finish watching. Let's finish watching. You guys, welcome our sister. Our sister, Robbie Privilege. Okay, come on. Now, you see, they're all clapping. He's saying, come on. Now, she is walking. She's walking, and he grabs her, and he snatches her out. That's why I said it could be a paramour. Could be a paramour that good old Bob the Builder had. Could be paramour that Bob the Builder had. Bob the Builder be having a lot of paramours. He ain't supposed to have none of them women. He's only supposed to have his one woman, you know? And Bob the Builder that was at the construction site, not him, but Bob, probably was messing around, something he ain't supposed to be doing. There's two chicks at the church, a 47-year-old woman and a 38-year-old woman. And the women, only one of the women got arrested. And he got arrested. So it was more like a tit for tat, right? I go and I press charges against you. Well, he goes and he pressed charges against her. So she gets arrested as well. Now, I will say that there is a video in the YouTube streets that does show her talking to one of my colleagues in this space. She is speaking to none other than Larry Reed, who I have great respect for and have no problem recommending that you go to watch that video of him talking with her here on YouTube, because she does give her breakdown from what I saw. Before I saw this TMZ video to share with you guys just now. I saw that video because when you put it in through the news side, that's what came up. And she was talking. So I don't know everything that happened because I didn't listen to the entire video. But what I will tell you is that something stinks, and it is too much attention being placed on that little bitty small edifice, that little bitty small church. That's a tiny, tiny church. That is a tiny, tiny, tiny church. But I'm going to tell you something. And I hate to say this, but Black folk need to quit flocking into places like that. Folk, period. But you saw the whole church was full of Black folk. People need to stop going in those kind of places. When you see this kind of stuff out here, any idiot could see that that first situation was a bit contrived. The movements are so cat-like and getting down behind the pulpit. There's something up. There's something up. And I'm not going to sit up here and lie. It's something going on. It ain't supposed to be going on. There's some flies in the buttermilk. There's a few flies around here too, because my grandkids keep leaving the front and back door open. They've been in here for a few days. Then the first set will go away and then another set will come because they'll keep the door open and then they'll go out the back door. But anyway, I digress. But there's definitely some flies in the buttermilk, you guys. Now, we're also going to take a look at the seat that was given to none other than the Presidente, El Confuso. We're going to talk about what happened when he went out there to the Queen's funeral. This story I'll be reading with you right off the cuff. Never read it before, but I know that I liked what I saw. Alan Davis, how you doing? Okay. Yes, they do, Drea. Yes, they do. Chatty Dad once said, wolves in sheep's clothing, leading them astray. Sad to see this man handle these women and then not get charged with battery and assault. Well, she probably knows that she couldn't afford to deal with everything. And maybe they both dropped charges. I don't know. Maybe he kept him pressed against her. I don't know. He probably did. But what I will tell you is that something is not right. And we're going to hear about him again. We're going to hear about, there's no way on the planet you're going to tell me that if you are a pastor taking any income from this particular congregation, which some pastors do, that you've made enough money for that, for the Rolex and the diamond watch and the diamonds, the diamond watch, your wife's big ring, all this other stuff, netting close to $400,000 according to the article that we read. So if you're not working, if you are working, okay, great. If you got investments and businesses, all right, wonderful. But don't you think that that type of money would build a little more popularity and you'd have a bigger congregation? I think so. And it definitely would not be some storefront. If you had some good sense, you would have your church out in the nice suburbs someplace where you could bring in more wonderful people and, deal with the community and help the community and, help them, bring the word if that's your true and honest goal. But there's something that's not right. And I said it again, and I'll keep saying it. Oh, he's in real estate. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken. Thank you. Does he do real estate investments that you know of? Or does he deal with commercial real estate? And don't you also think, Ken, that he would have more of a following? I would think so. Let me know what you think, Ken. What is your thoughts on that? Do you think that he should have, or does he have an actual bigger following? Let me ask you that. Since you know that he's in real estate, Ken, do you know whether or not he has a bigger following? Maybe this is just an annexed church, maybe a smaller church. Because I don't know whether you saw that just a second ago. That was a tiny place. That place was really, really tiny. But we covered this story, Ken. I'm not sure if you were in the audience at that time or in the chat at that time, but we covered this story about him losing all of the jewelry a while back. We did. We covered it a while back. I'm not sure. I just started hearing about the story. Okay, but you know that he's in real estate, which again would say, all right, then he doesn't need the money from the church. He's amassed enough money on his own. Let's be fair. He's been in real estate. He's amassed enough money on his own. He doesn't need any money from anybody else. Maybe he's in it to win it, just to give the holy, unadulterated word. And this is what he does, and that's possible. Of course, it's possible. It's possible that that's going on. Doing that could definitely be something that he's doing. Yeah. And in that case, if it is something that he's doing, kudos to him. But I would like to see a little more outreach, because there are loads of people in that area that do need help. Period. And I said that. And that's one person who's been in ministry to another. How about that? So Drea says, okay, so why is TMZ covering this though? Probably because they're waiting for the other shoe to fall, like you and me, Drea. Because we've been following, like I said, it's like, well, let's take him out of the scenario again. Let's even take good old Bob the Builder out of the way. Why are there so many pastoral pimps, as Drea says earlier? Why is this going on so much? Why are we seeing it more now than ever? Because back in the day, people used to be accused of it. Now they actually look it. Back then they were accused. People really didn't have much. But now you got a lot more stuff going on. They're doing a lot of stuff. Attacking people. I mean, really? And where are your armor bearers? Let me tell you something. You guys know who my pastor was. You guys saw the memorial that I did for him when he passed away. Dr. Price's people, them cats was no joke. They were no joke whatsoever. You were going to get nowhere near him. The woman that was his wife's armor bearer was in armed forces. She was, yeah. The woman who was even after my Sunday school teacher, she had a church because she was at Crenshaw when I was a little girl. And the chick that was over her armor bearers was a straight up thug. Used to be a thug. She was a reformed thug. She ran a whole block of bad stuff when she was in the world. And yeah, Marla was no joke. She was no joke. Still ain't no joke. She still ain't no joke. As a matter of fact, there was an occurrence where somebody did come into the church, and her and all of her, they had her armor bearers was what Jesus would have, because, you know, he hung around all the bad dudes, right? He had, you know, Mary Magdalene, he had the tax collector, he had everybody that everybody did not like. Every one of these cats that Bam Crawford had around her, they were goons. They were the goon squad. So you wasn't coming up in there around them. When I go places, I take at least 2 of my sons if I'm in that vicinity. Now they're all moved away and I don't really go many places to speak anymore. But I take people that I know got some elbows and chunkles. Why? Because people are crazy. They're nuts. They have issues. But there's something about this place because he doesn't have anybody protecting him. He doesn't have anybody standing, not even ushers. My daddy's ushers, whew, the reason why most of us kids that were going to church while my father was a preacher are so messed up in the head is because we had the bandit ushers. They would take a tissue and give me that gum, paint you, get you. Those ushers wouldn't let nobody get near my mom, let alone my dad. So where is his security? If he was so afraid that what happened a few months ago during the summer could possibly happen again, and maybe that's what was going on in his mind at that moment, why wouldn't he put people in place to protect both he and his family? Why was she able to get that close? And why didn't the cat that was sitting back over there in that chair where armor bearer should sit, why did he get up? The wife probably instinctively felt something, so she stood up to prowess to get herself in a position to where if she had to clock somebody, she put the baby over here. If she had to do whatever she had to do, she could maneuver, right? She did stand up, and that was a smart thing to do. But if this lady really, truly, and honestly meant any harm, and if this man were truly and honestly afraid that what happened in the summer could definitely happen again and could be reenacting right now, maybe in a different level, why didn't he have the security that he needed in place? And why don't we see the same type of footage that he had before, showing the outside of the church, showing them come in? Let's just say this. Everything that is wrong with this, let it be exposed post haste, and let those people find new churches if it is not what it's supposed to be. If it's wrong, let these people find a new church. Let them find someplace that's truly and honestly teaching the word, period. How about that? Now let's go on and let's take a gander. We're going to take a gander at good old Mr. Sleuthwood. Oh, how you grew up, y'all wasn't getting nowhere near the pastor? No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to, it's like mind-boggling to me. It's mind-boggling. Anyway, you guys know how my brain works. I break stuff down. I see stuff from a different perspective most of the time, which is the reason why I hardly have any friends. Because I see things differently. And I get it. I get it. So let's look at Biden's Queen seating. Here we go. Oh, I wonder why. I wonder why they didn't put us where we should have sit, Mother. We should sit somewhere else. I'm going to give you guys the whole screen as we normally do to allow you. King BJ, how are you? Samantha, how are you doing there, sis? And I want to say hi to Ken Miller. Ken Milner, never seen you here before, but I want to tell you welcome. As I'm sure some of the mods have already given you a great one. Mike, how are you? It's great, Mike Guyver, to see you. Let's see, who else have I not called out? Aurora, good afternoon to you. So happy to catch me live. I'm happy that you're here. Did you get to say hello to Robbie Privilege? She's new. Say hey, everybody. Robert Ingram, how are you? Where all the kids who look up to him? Come on now. Come on now, co-laborer. All the co-laborers in this place is so smart. All of the co-laborers. Brilliant question. I'm going to leave it there while I look for anybody else that I may have missed. Hey, Brother Daryl Calhoun. Hi again from Bloomington, Indiana. Hello, Super Mod Marty. Alan. Zeb. I think that's it. Hey, Brother Derek. Respect due to Biloxi, Mississippi's own Felicia Lockhart. Thank you kindly, kind sir. A preacher in Michigan shot and killed a parishioner after being confronted for sleeping with his wife. Wow. Give me that story if you're still here, Derek. If you're still here, give me that story and let me run that. Add that to this. Maureen, hey to you. Okay. Howdy all the way from the southern border. Okay. Let me go ahead. Let's go ahead. All right. I've loved and hugged on everybody. Now let's go ahead and see what this cat is up to. And listen here, I'm not going to apologize if somebody is offended that I'm reading this, meaning you may or may not like the president. My deal is I just give it to you straight, no chaser. Okay. I just give it to you straight, no chaser. And if I find humor in it, well, I'm going to laugh. We're going to read this together. I've not read it yet, but what I did find appealing was the fact that just the whole entire title just made me want to chuckle. So let's get into this. Biden's seating at the Queen's funeral is explained. Oh, so apparently there must have been an issue. It's explained. In the one day since President Joe Biden attended Queen Elizabeth II's funeral in London on Monday, much has been made of him being seated far from the front row at Westminster Abbey. Well, first of all, now that I'm reading this with you guys, let me just say, how many of us know that the order of a funeral, especially, again, let's use our churches, for those of us who are, brothers, sisters, anybody in America knows this. It doesn't matter what color you are. But I know in a black church, ain't nobody getting in the first handful of rows, and it may be the same everywhere. Maybe that's the United States etiquette for churches, for funerals. By asking for a poll here, how many people understand and have had this happen in your church? Black, white, purple, yellow, or green, don't matter. Let's get together. Let's compare our notes. When you have a funeral, isn't there a section for the immediate family? And then behind that, the ascending family or the other portion of the families, family and friend? Huh? Okay. All right. No, you good, Marty. I think so. You guys let me know. So it would appear that maybe people were flipping out because he was in the wrong area. They thought he should have been sitting somewhere else. Yes, Drea says. All right. Let's get on back to it. I just wanted to ask y'all, go ahead and keep doing the poll while I finish reading this and getting us all caught up to speed as to what happened and why. All right. It says, with 2,200 guests at the Abbey, the president, who was accompanied by the First Lady Jill Biden, was among the approximately 500 people who were invited. Okay, there were overseas heads of states and foreign dignitaries. The regal ceremony saw the Bidens sitting in two pew seats some 14 rows from the front, directly behind the Polish leader Andrzej Duda, and 1 row ahead of the Czech Republic Prime Minister Peter Fiala. If I've mispronounced their names, I'm sorry. Ignacio Casillas, the president of Switzerland, was seated to the left of the First Lady. Former President Donald Trump, who was defeated by Biden, is in his bid for the second term in November 2020. You see how they got to do that? Use the optics to take a swipe at the U.S. leader. You see how they did that? Why did they just say Donald Trump took a swipe at the U.S. leader? Okay. Because just like all other lies, even though I'm not a fan of any of these people, we already know that there was a whole lot of shaking going on during November 2020. I ain't going to take it back. I'm going to say it. I don't care who you are. How could that man beat Obama? Okay, not an Obama fan either. I voted for him the first time. Full disclosure, and everybody who knows me knows, because I didn't like McCain. As soon as he added what's-her-face to the pie, it messed it up for me, and I voted for Obama. But there is no way you're going to tell me that Obama's numbers were less than Biden's. You're not going to tell me that Biden got more numbers than Obama. Period. Let's go. Taking to his Truth social media platform, Trump shared a photo of the mourners at the funeral, highlighting the seating occupied by Biden, while also suggesting that I don't know what does it mean, also suggesting that he, take the it out, that he would have been placed more prominently if he were still president. No, you wouldn't have. You would have went to that funeral, you would have set your rump where they put you, and you would have called it a day. Quote, "This is what's happened to America in just 2 short years. No respect," Trump wrote. However, a good time for our president to get to know the leaders of certain third world countries. If I were president, they wouldn't have set me back there, and our country would be much different than it is right now. Eyebrows were also raised on Twitter, where conservative commentator Meghan McCain questioned Biden's far from prominent seating. Former View panelist McCain tweeted, quote, "Just curious why our president and first lady were basically in the nosebleed section of the Queen's funeral." This is what she says right here. That's her quote right there. McCain's tweet was met with a flood of diversion, with a number of other Twitter users explaining that Biden's seating was all down to protocol. According to the British newspaper, The Telegraph, the leader of the United States, whoever they are, would have been at the time of the Queen's death, would have been seated in the same fashion with members of the royal family, past and present, UK prime ministers and Commonwealth leaders taking precedent. That makes sense. With royal protocol dictating that the Commonwealth leaders outrank those from other parts of the world at the Queen's funeral, it meant that Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was seated 9 rows ahead of Biden. According to the newspaper, Governor Generals from realms where the British sovereign was retained as head of state were seated first, with the elected Commonwealth leaders behind them. And in accordance with protocol, the governors general of the realms that retained the monarch as their head of state were seated first, with the elected Commonwealth leaders behind them. Okay, big deal. Why are people making a big deal about this? Even if this were not the case, he still needed to be sitting where he was sitting. Let's continue, because I don't want to be mean to those who may want to know the rest of this. It says this meant that leaders such as countries as Australia and New Zealand, Papua New Guinea and the Caribbean islands, Jamaica, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and Grenadines were included among those who have been seated ahead of the United States president. Despite the seating position, Biden was allowed one major privilege, as he was granted permission to arrive at the service in the presidential armored limousine dubbed the Beast, which had been flown over from the United States for the brief visit. I don't know why. Don't nobody want to touch on you over there. Weekend at Bernie's, though you may be, ain't nobody trying to get at you to put you in the weekend at Bernie's position because you already are. Please. I figured that was our vehicle when I looked at the news clips. I saw the news clip. It's a silent news clip. I'm not sure if it's here, but there's a silent. It just shows him getting out, walking in. This stood in contrast to the several other world leaders in attendance who were seen traveling together by bus to the ceremony for security reasons. French President Emmanuel Macron was also given permission to arrive in his own car. Biden arrived at Westminster Abbey outside of the 20-minute window, 9:35 to 9:55 a.m., reserved for the filing of the world leaders. The president and his wife were seen making their way into the Abbey just after 10 a.m., less than an hour before the funeral's tightly scheduled 11 a.m. start. Video footage was shared of the presidential car stuck in traffic en route to the funeral. Well, that sounds like them. Bad traffic out there. The Bidens returned to the United States just hours after the service concluded in London. While Trump wasn't invited to attend Monday's funeral, he was invited to a separate memorial service in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday alongside fellow living presidents Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and Jimmy Carter. None of the former presidents had confirmed their attendance as of Monday evening. Okay? So now everybody was trying to make it seem like, oh, he was this, he was that. The truth about the matter is that they have protocol. That's all. He's got protocol. They've got protocol. You see, they try to make everything into some big thing. Yeah. Exactly what they try to do. And my impression of this entire situation is that they were just trying to give some hubbub about something. They were trying to have some hubbub about something. They needed something to talk about. That's all. They just needed something to talk about. And so they did. They struck it up. And they said, hey, why was he sitting back there? No mention of the fact that he's not taking care of stuff here. Hey, there's a story of a lovely lady. No, just joking. I just couldn't resist it. It just seemed to, the segue of it all. Did you guys see the story just recently where they were talking about his numbers being better? Anybody saw that? Anybody see that? I think it was on Wall Street Journal this morning, wasn't it? I think it was the Wall Street Journal this morning, where they were saying that, yes, it is, Daryl, absolutely. Where they were basically saying that his numbers were looking better, and they said that there was, better. Everything was just looking better. Everything was looking better. No, we already knew what was going to happen. We already knew that right before the fall, they were going to make stuff change. They were going to change it up, bango. They were going to make things a little bit different, and that's exactly what they've done. They've just taken the numbers, and they've just changed why the numbers were raised. So in other words, if you were looking at $5 a gallon gas, all they did was just sort of, release the spigot, as it were, so that you're not paying that. So now you don't even pay attention to anything. You say, okay, well, look, gas isn't as bad as it was. That's all they're doing. They're just playing with the numbers. They're just fudging the numbers. Why? Because, well, they create the numbers. Duh. Right? They're creating the preponderance of what you see. I sit on a really fun panel some nights because I got to get my, how do I say it? There's a great group of people that I hang out with, and we are all totally different, and I absolutely love it. It's absolutely exciting to hang out with them. It's absolutely exciting to hang out with them. And to listen to everybody's varied thought processes and their mindset about why, who does what is funny. But the one thing I'm going to tell you about that group of individuals is I can't see anybody running out voting for this cat. Because everybody seems to have the same exact consensus, and that is that they're slowing up what they're slowing up specifically for November. And the most important piece of what I'm talking about is the fact that none of them trust a lot of data that comes out. Because they understand that data on this panel, they understand that data can be fudged to go whichever direction they want it to go, right? Because data will be, pushed about by media. Data can be pushed about via media. And so when you're seeing numbers, what I like to say is just sit back and watch. Sit back and watch. Because regardless of the data that they're giving us that tell us, hey, he's doing a great job, we still sold a whole lot of our oil that was supposed to be for our reserves for specific reasons to China. We sold it. It goes without saying that irregardless to what's going on, I still say that the guy you see is not the president, that it is the charismatic leader that he once served who is the president, who told everybody that all he needed was one of these and a BlackBerry. I feel like if we all understand that he had an agenda to finish and he's doing it, then it would match up with why this guy is so vacant some of the times when he comes out to speak and he doesn't know half the stuff that's going on. As a matter of fact, oh yeah. As a matter of fact, he doesn't even try to play anymore. I received some information a couple of days ago, and I'm not sure if I saved it. I think I did. Let me see if I've got it here. Let me open up another tab and see if I saved it, because I can read it to you. I don't know. Oh, but I do want to read this to you guys. Oh, I have two stories that are still yet to come out over on Headlines with a Voice that have already been done. But I do want to give you guys a small sneak peek of it. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, the predicate evangelum. The predicate evangelum, if that's how you say it, predicate. For any Catholics that are there, I apologize if I'm saying that incorrectly. However, don't forget, 10 days from now, the Vatican has already said, bring us all of the booty, all of your bounty, all of the booty, bring it all. Bring it all in. I did a story dealing with Mayorkas. I did a story dealing with the Steele dossier, and those will both be uploaded here before the day ends. They're already done, and they're going to be on Headlines with a Voice. There's a deal here, and I'm pausing because I'm not sure if I want to talk about it right now. Let me just hold off on that. But what I want to say is, do not be fooled by all of the stuff that you see, and remember again that it's just all one big knot, just waiting to be pulled apart by somebody. And you and I can definitely do it. Let's go on ahead and read some of the comments here. Let's pull up some of your comments so that everybody knows that we are here together. Let's see. Mike Garver says the Lord is starting to attack these individuals. Okay, darling. Okay. Bev says, hello, Miss Felicia. Hello, darling. Totally agree. Aurora says. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. We received actors. So, but you know what, you guys? I think that in as much as we know that this is going on, it's just like, can we change the narrative ourselves? You ever think about that? Oh, it is coming, Daryl Calhoun. He's bumbling until he isn't. I noticed that he's clear on, and it's any criticism and accountability and agenda pushing. Okay, Samantha Enriquez says he acts like the guy that played the bad guy on Iron Man. Yes, mixing iron with clay will always be a bad idea. That's right. Chris Lam is coming. Yes, it is. I'm happy that you caught me too, and I'm happy that you're here. If you guys are able to, please hit the like button for the algorithm. Make sure that you let the powers that be in YouTube know that this is something you like so that they send more people this way. You know, I'm not going to say that. I don't even want to bring that up. But anyway, I think I find it now hilarious to watch the numbers go up and down and up. I just find it hilarious. Roman Catholic Islam. Well, you know, I that's a conversation that I would need Ronnie here for. He and I got into one of our fun-filled, heated, and it wasn't even a debate. It was one of our conversations where we were going back and forth as it relates to Catholicism. And we were looking at the video. You guys may or may not remember the video that I posted in the community tab where we were talking. It's okay, Carol David. Where we were talking specifically, I put it up where they were talking about the papacy, and they were showing all of these, you know, it was like an ecumenical meeting, had all these different people there, and that was the meeting of the minds. They were changing up stuff. They were talking about different things, and you saw, hey Poppy, how are you? It's good to see you. Good to see you. It was amazing because as I began to watch what was going on there at the Vatican. No, they weren't even at the Vatican. They were at Pakistan, weren't they? It was either in Pakistan or one of the places that start with a P. All right. Respect to you too, Poppy. Doing wonderful, wonderful, brother. So the deal is that while we were looking at that particular video, it reminded me of this particular situation where somebody was saying that there was a song that was sung, and it is an Easter song. So either way it goes, it's not a necessarily good thing. But if you begin to break down a lot of the stuff that we've talked about here on the Lockhart Perspective, dealing with religion, dealing with the old stuff, dealing with Rome. You know, I always say that all roads lead to Rome here on this channel. I say they lead to Rome and beyond. They lead beyond the garden. They lead beyond the garden. All roads go beyond the garden. So if you can take the road and go back to Rome, you can take the road to Rome and go beyond that and go to the garden. And then if you go to the garden, what you need to do is, if you have your telescope or if you have on your binoculars, I need you to fine tune them and find Eve. Then I need you to find who Eve was talking to. And I need you to find out what she learned from that she was talking to, and what did they do and how did they engage and where did that entity that she was talking to come from? Where did the entity she was talking to come from? Here, let's put it in. Let's just put it all down here. Let's put it like as our friend Black Spring says. Let's put it down here where the cows can get it. You got a lot of different sects of individuals and things. And there's some stuff that if you start digging and learning a little bit more on your own, you will find that, wow, you're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. You're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. It's a lot of stuff that's going on that you may just have to peep out. Check it out. What I always recommend is that everybody empties out their mind for everything you thought you knew. Everything you thought you knew. I need you to empty it all out. I need you to take your bag and dump it. Dump your bag, dump it. Because see, the ride that you will go on once you do this is one that you could never, ever, ever replace. And nobody will ever be able to take the information from you once you glean it, hold on to it, study it. And it's important. Of course it's important. It's important because what we saw on the clip that's right there in the community tab with the Pope and all those individuals was telling you something very major. And that is, they wanted you to believe that one was better than the other and that this one was better than the other and that this one had it right and this one. And if you didn't believe like this one, that you was going to hell. And if you didn't believe like that one, you was going to hell. And if you believe like this one, you going to hell. And only this one got it right. But what did you see? If you go to the community tab and look at that round thing with all of those cats sitting, you saw every one of them jokers sitting together. So somebody lying. Hands clean. I didn't do it. Just bringing it in. Just bringing the info to you, baby. Go get the info. Go look over there and see what I'm telling you. Because they told you that if you did it this way, you was going to hell. But if you didn't believe like this, you was going to hell. If you believe like that, you're going to hell. And if you believe like this, hellbound. Every single one of them, but the ones that each person was in. It was like everybody was pointing to the other one, saying that the person sitting next to them was going to hell. So it was like a big gigantic circle, right, of everybody going to hell. Now you got everybody at that circle, at this particular circle that's in the community tab that we had with them out there with the Pope and all of that. Everybody is all together. It's almost like having, I don't know, snakes and wolves sitting together. It's like having snakes and wolves sitting together. You're not used to seeing that. You don't understand that. Alicia, what are you talking about? What could you possibly mean? What I'm telling you is to study to show thyself approved. You need to get into something and study it real quickly. Start breaking down some stuff. But before you get into study it, I want you to take your bag with your mom and them, your daddy and them, and everything that you believe in it. Take that bag, turn it upside down, empty it. And then as you begin to go through while you're studying, pick up this and put it in there. Pick up all the pieces and put it together. And then what you're going to find is a whole bunch of stuff. Okay? I want you to take the rapture, stick it in that. Take that out. No, take that out. Oh, well. Okay, well, who is the 144,000? Well, wait a minute, who are they really? Well, I know what they said, but who is it really, and what does it really mean? But you had the Jehovah's Witnesses at the table. You had Islam at the table. You had Roman Catholic. You had Greek Orthodox at the same table. These cats were all together. Now, when you sit at the table of agreement, that is how you have a very healthy conversation. Sitting at the table of agreement is how I used to take it when I had to deal with one employee and another employee, or two managers that were having a problem. And I would sit everybody at the table of agreement, and we would all speak together, and we would all come together to decide that, hey, you know what? Maybe we can all agree to disagree, or maybe we can come to some conclusions here. But what we were going to do was get at this table of agreement, and we were going to work it out together. These folks was at that table willing to throw out somebody's belief for somebody else's belief. Y'all hear what I'm trying to tell you? What I'm trying to tell you is, whatever you believe, cool. But I guarantee you that right now is the time for you to figure this out for real. Because that Pope had a whole bunch of folks at that table. And he just said, on the 30th of September, I want all the money brought in here to the Vatican, which, as we all know, is a city in and of itself. They have their own bank. But all the money, all of it. Every stitch brought in. And about, 9 days now? Because over there, it's another day. Why? These are really important questions. Some would say, oh, I don't care what's going on over there until you get to that ATM on the first, and you be like, dun, 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 whoa. Sounded like somebody. No, I didn't just do the prices right, but I did. You get over there on the 30, be like, what just happened? Where's all my money? I don't know. Maybe Bart took it. Art, did you take your daddy's wallet? It's gonna be something. I'm telling you right now, y'all. I'm telling you right now. Esther said 325. Constantine did the same thing. Oh, Daryl Calhoun is on the scene. I got the best chat on the planet. Every co-laborer at the Lockhart Perspective be bing, bing, bing. Look right there. The role of the leaders of the world and traditional religions in the spiritual and social development of human civilization in the post-pandemic period. Read the first. Kazakhstan capital. Okay. New Neurosultan. The Grand Imam. Yes, all of them sitting there together. All of the Abrahamic belief systems all sitting there together. All of the Abrahamic, and then everybody else, of course, everybody else was there as well. But the Grand Imam, the Pope Francis of the Catholic Church, alongside 108 other world leaders or religious world leaders from 60 different countries. I think it's important for us to reiterate the main point, and that is that once upon a time, if you believed in that, you wasn't going to heaven. And if you believe in that, you was going to hell. And if you believe in that, you was going to hell. Everybody had their hand pointed at the cat sitting next to them. If you believe in this, you're going to hell. Now, all of a sudden, where are they going? So they can't all be right. Or if they created it themselves, could they? There's a grand delusion here. There's a delusion. There's something ain't right. Something ain't right. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is, hey, listen. All I can do is bring it. We sit here together. We dissect it. We unpack it together. That's all I'm saying. Not, can all of them be right? Let's get back here to reading some of your comments here. Let's see. Okay, Corn Pops Revenge. I love the name, first of all. Behold, I will make those of the synagogue of Satan who say they are Jews and are not, but lie. Behold, I will make them come and bow down before your feet, and they will learn that I have loved you. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Revelations 3:9. I'm back. It was my sweet son calling from college. I hope he's doing well. And Miller says exactly. Samantha says, yep. Thought our family was Christian, but nah. They like being preached to, not reading the word. Absolutely. And that's the easiest way. That's the easiest way. If you don't pick it up and learn it yourself, then you're going to believe anything anybody tells you. The exact same books that all of us got say something. If you look, you know what I'm saying? Mike says 144,000 for these are virgins. Sorry. Hold on. No. Nope, that's not true. No. And I'm going to give you the video that you can find that information in, because we have all of the breakdown. We break it all down etymologically. We break it down etymologically. We break it down timeline. We break it down every single thing. We break it down old, new. We break it down. So, yeah. Let's get on with the rest. Okay? Hey, Alan Davis. And anyone I missed. You're so sweet. All leading to Revelation 13, etc. Absolutely. No, Marty. Greatest show on earth. Yep. Took losing my mom to dig deep into the word. Corn Pops Revenge. Drea saying, hey. Great program, my sister. Hallelujah. Praise God. Just for he is good and always faithful and worthy of all the praises. Awe and glory. Shalom. Can anybody explain the timeline when Lucifer fell? Oh, my friend. Fifi. I don't know if your outro music is playing. It's supposed to be. Because I didn't want to use this music anymore. I put my music on. I put my music on instead of this one. And remember, I also used to use the other one. Okay, we'll just keep that on. I'm going to have to turn it down to here, though, because I know it's going to be uber loud. All right, so let's go ahead and read some more. Thank you, sister. Okay, a lot do selective reading. They skip the icky parts so that yes, exactly, that they would call icky. Okay. Yep. And there was found no more room in heaven for Satan anymore. Okay. All right. Me too, Samantha. 5 years ago. Thin blue line soldier. Ha ha. Yeshua HaMashiach is King and Lord. Okay. Yours sounds much better. You like my music? Okay, let me go back to my music. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, you guys. So we're going to head up out of here. We're going to get on out of here. And listen, I've got a great individual that's visiting us this Saturday at 12 o'clock Eastern time. And we are going to talk specifically about, is it time? How can you play catch up? If you did not get any money growing up and you haven't saved a nest egg, we're going to talk about how to play catch up, playing catch up. We have none other than Anton Daniels from the Millionaire Morning Club. He's also from AntonDaniels.com. Please look on our homepage. And when you do that, you will find all of his information. This man is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm a part of his Bag Chasers, and he's got an organization that is bar none and second to none, I should say. Second to none. And this is what's going on. We will have him here this Saturday, where we'll have him for an hour. We can talk to him, find out some information about just what you can do to try to maybe help yourself get a little caught up. Americans, unlike other countries, have always lived paycheck to paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. And as soon as the ball drops on one of them paychecks, you're looking at dire straits. You're looking at some pretty bad times. And I think right now, if you are in this game at all, you'll see that right now, if you drop a ball, it's going to be even worse. Only the strong is going to survive out here in these streets. So Anton Daniels will be with us again this coming Saturday, the 24th of September. I invite everybody to come on out and get some information. Listen, here's the irony. This man is younger than me. But when I tell you the wealth of information that the Father has put inside of him, he is a good guy. He's a married gentleman. He's a dad. He's an entrepreneur. He's a business owner. He is, oh my goodness. He can tell you how to build wealth like nobody's business, because he has done that for many people. Oh, it looks like we've got some nastiness in the house here. But anyway, he can tell you to build some wealth like nobody's business. And so I do want to invite everybody to come out on this coming Saturday. Anton Daniels of AntonDaniels.com, as well as several different shows here on YouTube. When I tell you this man is an anomaly, he's an anomaly. Listen, we're going to talk to him a little bit about his life. Just a little bit, maybe get a little bit of a background. Then we're going to talk to him about his beautiful wife. We cannot speak to the man without acknowledging his helpmeet. And that's the way that I rock here. So we're going to talk to him about himself. We're going to talk to him about his family. We're going to talk to him about what makes him tick. And then for about the last 45 to 50 minutes, we are going to get into some really good information that I know that you're going to want to be a part of, which is why I'm giving you the invitation right now. This Saturday, right here, it will be simulcast here on the Lockhart Perspective, as well as Headlines with a Voice. We will interview none other than Anton Daniels of AntonDaniels.com. All right, you guys. I love each and every one of you guys. I want you to remember what we always say on any FeliciaLockhart.com. See what I learned from him? Publications, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. I want you guys to make sure that you take care of yourselves. And then after you do that, take care of somebody else, because you can't take care of them if you can't breathe. You can't take care of them if you can't see. You cannot do it. So take care of yourself, then take care of everybody else. And until we see one another again, please continue to be blessed. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. Helping you